Okay, everybody, we're about to start chapter 13 in our vBook. So let me get into it here. I'll just say up front that there's we're doing a number of chapters in this book. We're calling it a vBook as a video book, as an alternative to doing something on print. And in it, we're revisiting all of the original things that we've learned over these last few years. We've taken what we learned from the Abraham Hicks group and so on, all of that really fantastic stuff, that foundational knowledge, and we've moved beyond that now to what I think is a pretty good understanding and a pretty good explanation of the law of attraction, and that's what we're offering here for you. So let's get into it. If we can, that is. Google and its screen shares sometimes are a challenge. Okay. Well, almost okay. Hey, we're there. Good. All right, so I'm going to pass over now to, well, the words of Torah here. Let's talk a little about reaching for the stars, your birthright. Let's talk about remembering why you are eager to come to this space-time world. Let's talk about refusing to settle for less than what you want, for less than a brilliant, exciting world. And in all of that, let's truly understand what contrast is. Because contrast is not shorthand for something bad or unwanted. Contrast means the difference between a feel-good place and a feel-not-so-good place. Let's begin here. As you were growing up, how many times were you told you have to face reality? By those words, your perhaps well-meaning parents and other teachers meant that you cannot expect to have it in all, that in this world you all have limited options. What they were proposing to you is that you need to focus on and understand the reality of your circumstances, and that you'll be happier once you accept what lies within the realms of possibility and what does not. Think back to those times. Do you remember the disappointment you felt upon first hearing those words? And then what happened? For many of you, as you heard them over and over, you chose to believe them. After all, those guys knew everything, didn't they? And so you began the process of reining in your desires, and right along with them, your imagination. You became a stranger to big dreams because you couldn't step into those dreams without feeling uncomfortable. If you are one of those who is obsessed with reality, you are condemning yourself to more of it. You have heard us say, the better it gets, the better it gets. You may have noticed the opposite, that the worse it gets, the worse it gets. And why do you think that is? Because this focus on reality brings the vibration of what you're currently experiencing into your own vibration. And by law of attraction, that brings more and more of the same vibrational stuff into your experience. If you're focusing on the fact that there are limits, that you can't have it all, that maybe it's time to go out and get that steady job, that unless you pull yourself together here, you're heading for a bad fall. And what you're including in your vibration is scarcity and a whole stack of must-dos. It has to, because the truth of this is that you're telling the universe over and over, less, please. That's your vibrational set point. So it turns out focusing on reality is a great idea if reality feels good. But facing reality usually means settling for less. So then our question to you is, how's that working out for you? Have you found that even being realistic didn't shield you from bumps in the road? From where we sit, we see that as you throttle back your desires, you lessen your choices. And as you lessen your choices, you lessen your excitement. As you lessen your excitement, you lessen the ability to make big decisions and the focus and energy that goes along with those decisions. You start down that path and end up with nothing to create and no reason to be here at all. What does a fish know about water? The answer is a fish knows nothing about water until it leaves it, until it has some perspective, some contrast, if you will. And like that fish, some of you have been hanging out at lower levels of vibration for so long that it's like water to you. It feels like the status quo. In that place, when you hit a bump in the road, when you manifest something unwanted, sometimes you find yourself shutting down even further with what seems like no way to slow the rate of descent. Well, let's say your emotional guidance scale looks like this. At a 10, you're in ecstasy. 9 is joy or passion. 8 is fun or excitement. 7 is peace or calmness. 6 is feeling in control or contentment. 5, now we're entering the not so good place, is vague unease or too many must-dos. 4 is boredom or nervousness. 3 is dread or anger. 2 is hopelessness or overwhelm. And 1 is utter deep despair and paralysis. So what's your status quo? Have you been hanging out at level 5 or less? And here's the all-important question. Do you feel powerless to change course? Because changing course is the whole point of this discussion. It's always a question of where you put your focus. As with everything about your world, it's a choice. So let's talk a little about making a new choice, a different choice than you made way back when, a choice that can change your life. This month, this year, this day, this minute would be an excellent time to start. Maintain perspective. Be an observer, not of that so-called reality, but go sit on the moon and contemplate your world and your life. Be in the stands as well as on the field. Ask yourself, why are you here? No matter what story you've invented, and no matter where you find yourself in that story, the fundamental reason you came into this world is to experience the joy of creating in this life on Earth environment. There is no higher purpose than that. There can be no higher purpose than that, because it means doing what you eagerly came here to do, to mix it up, make new decisions, and experience new things. We want you to maintain an awareness of who you are and hold that perspective so that unwanted experiences do not shut you down. Stay away from that cycle of the worse it gets, the worse it gets. Then you will thrive no matter what the circumstances are. Now let's look at that emotional guidance scale again. When was that last time you hung out at 9 or 10 in passion, in ecstasy? Be honest with yourself here. Doesn't the thought of being passionate about your life start to take you back to that place where you knew it was all possible? Can you not feel that yearning inside you? We promise you that the sky is within your reach. Of course, there will always be contrast. But how about choosing to hang out in the 5 to 10 range and not the 1 to 6 range? It's yours for the asking. And we, of course, are here to help you onto that yellow brick road. You have but to ask. Okay, so Chapter 13. We look forward to having you with us on Saturday. Come join us. One of the things we do in this community is make sure that we engage with you. So if you have questions this week, you can find a place in our forum, in our community, to come ask that question. And so we welcome you. We look forward to being with you, and there's some links here to the places that you will find more information on all of that. Thanks, and we'll catch you soon.